Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a metric that sits right at the heart of multi-million-dollar deals. You know, this isn't just some dry formula. It's the answer to a lender's single most important question. Let's jump right in.
I mean, really think about it for a second. When a bank is getting ready to lend a truly massive amount of money, we're talking for a skyscraper, a huge apartment portfolio, a major company, how do they get comfortable with that level of risk? How do they really know they're going to get paid back?
Well, it's not magic, and you can be sure it's not just a gut feeling. In the world of high-stakes finance, it really all boils down to one incredibly powerful ratio that just cuts through all the noise and gets right to the heart of whether a borrower can actually pay back their debt. At the end of the day, all of lending is about answering that one simple question. And the debt service coverage ratio, or DSCR for short, is the #1 tool they use to figure it out.
Okay, let's make this super simple. Just think about your own personal budget. You've got your paycheck coming in, that's your cash, and you've got your bills going out, rent, car payment, all that stuff, that's your debt. Well, the DSCR does the exact same thing, just on a much bigger scale for a business or a property. It asks, is the cash this thing is generating actually enough to cover the total loan payment? And that means principal and interest.
So, how do we actually build this thing? Let's take the ratio apart, piece by piece, and see what makes it tick, starting with the cash that's coming in the door. All right, the top part of the fraction. This is the engine of the whole operation. For a commercial property, we call this net operating income, or NOI. That's just all the rent you collect minus your direct operating costs. For a company, analysts might use something like EBITDA, but in either case, the goal is exactly the same. Figure out the pure, raw cash flow that the business itself spits out. Now for the bottom part of the fraction, what that cash flow needs to cover. And this is so important. It's not just the interest on the loan. It includes both the interest and the principal you have to pay back that year. This makes it a way tougher, much more realistic test of financial strength.
And when you put those two pieces together, boom, you get this, the operating cash on top divided by the total debt payments on the bottom. The number you get from this tells a lender exactly how many times over the business can pay its annual debt bill using the cash it generated. Okay, so a number is just a number until you know how to read it, right? So let's translate what the DSCR is actually telling us about the financial health and the risk of a business.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. You've got two critical zones. If your DSCR is below 1, you've got a cash shortfall. Your business isn't making enough money to pay back its loan. That's a massive, flashing red light for a lender. But if you're above 1.25x, now you have a healthy safety cushion. You can pay your debt and still have 25% of that payment left over as a buffer. That's the zone where lenders start to feel comfortable.
A DSCR of exactly 1.0x? That is the financial knife's edge. You are generating precisely enough cash to cover your debt, but not a single penny more. There is absolutely zero room for error. If one tenant moves out or one big piece of equipment breaks, you are immediately in a cash shortfall. No lender on earth wants to be in that position.
Let's make this real. Imagine a property generates a net operating income, an NOI, of $694,000 for the year, and its total mortgage payments for that year add up to $528,606. You just divide the income by the debt service, and you get a DSCR of 1.31. What that means is the property makes $1.31 for every $1 of debt it owes. That extra 31 cents, that's the cushion that makes the whole deal work.
But hang on. This is where we go from basic math to pro-level analysis, because a really savvy lender never just takes that first number they see at face value. They always dig deeper to find the true sustainable cash flow.
See, analysts will actually adjust a borrower's numbers to make them more conservative, more realistic. Did the borrower forget to budget for replacing the roof in 5 years? Well, a lender's going to factor that in. Are they claiming the building is 100% full? A lender's going to knock that down to the market average. Oh, you're managing it yourself for free? Nope, they're going to add in a market rate management fee. All these adjustments are designed to make sure that DSCR isn't just wishful thinking.
And this quote just perfectly captures the mindset, doesn't it? It is all about stress testing the numbers. The whole point is to calculate a DSCR that will hold up not just on a perfect sunny day, but when the inevitable financial storms roll in.
But here's the thing, the DSCR isn't just a pass-fail test you take at the beginning of a deal. It's actually a powerful, active tool that lenders use to structure the entire loan and manage their risk over its whole life. This table shows it so clearly. The riskier the asset, the bigger the cash flow cushion the lender's going to demand. A nice stable office building? Maybe it only needs a 1.25x DSCR. But a hotel, which can have wild swings in business, the lender might want to see that it can cover its debt 1.4 or even 1.5 times over. The ratio is a direct reflection of the risk.
And to make sure that cushion actually stays there, lenders write something called a DSCR covenant right into the loan agreement. It's a legally binding promise from the borrower that says, I promise I will not let my property's DSCR fall below this specific line. It's basically a proactive alarm system for the lender.
So, what happens if that alarm goes off? What if your cash flow drops and you break that covenant, even if you're still making your monthly payments perfectly on time?
The consequences can get really serious really fast. Breaking that promise is a technical default, and it gives the lender some pretty powerful options. They could agree to a waiver, but you bet they're going to charge you a much higher interest rate. They could start a cash sweep where they literally take every extra dollar of profit to pay down the loan faster. Or, in the worst-case scenario, they can accelerate the loan and demand you repay the entire thing immediately.
So, after all that, what is the real bottom line here? Let's zoom out from just the calculation and think about what this really means for financial health.
You see, the DSCR is so much more than just a hoop you have to jump through to get a loan. It's kind of like the ultimate lie detector for a business's cash flow. It's a forward-looking stress test that really reveals the fundamental sustainability of an investment. It's a measure of resilience.
And that, right there, is the ultimate question the DSCR forces everyone to answer, from a real estate mogul to someone just managing their own personal finances. It isn't just about paying today's bills. It's about having the financial strength to survive tomorrow's surprises. So is your cash flow truly ready for anything?